Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's another Friday with Dannphan. I know you missed me. I did a drawing stream earlier, so that's content, right? No, but people really like the Friday streams. I guess it's because they're a little bit more chill. You talk about whatever. Yeah, I am down in the dungeon for this one. It's funny, the dog hears me talking and he thinks that I'm talking to him. They're all confused. Like, hello. Hello, doggo. You lay on the couch. I'm not gonna pet you right now. I'm sorry. The chat has to donate for me to pet you. Cannot receive love unless chat donates, naturally. I'm joking. Relax, guys. Alright. We are down in the dungeon, but that's fine. We can have fun down here too. We can talk about all the new and interesting things going on in comics from down here. So long as you can hear me, let's get a mic check. Make sure everyone can actually hear me. I have done an entire stream before with the mic muted. Not on this channel, but on the Dannphan's channel. We had no idea. Nobody said anything. I guess they just assumed that we were the type of streamers that didn't talk during our stream or didn't check chat. I don't know. But nobody said anything. And I've been traumatized ever since. Dog's being cute over there. I can't show you though, because we need to keep it in this corner, facing this corner at all times. So how have you been, Jed? I hope you have had a lovely week. It's been very cold. That's what we got to do. We always got to talk about the weather at the beginning of these Friday streams. It's tradition. It's been very cold. And apparently there's going to be a snowstorm, but I don't believe it. I think it's all fake, you know? We figured you were silent trolling. Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, there is a more active audience here, that's true. That's why it would only happen on the Dannphan stream. That would only ever happen over there for the mic to be muted the whole time and everyone just thinking that we don't use mic for whatever reason. So, today was nice. Today was nice. So yeah, I have the remainder of, I don't normally go to Starbucks, for the record. But we were meeting up with some friends, talk about comic stuff and chit-chatting, right? And Adam wanted he didn't want any coffee because he doesn't drink coffee, right? But he did want a giant thing of water because he was very thirsty. So we got the largest cup of water for him. And believe it or not, this took the longest to come out. We were waiting quite a long time for this water. I had my drink, but he did not have his water. I don't know why. There were a bunch of different fancy types of lattes coming out from the people making it, and the water was the hardest thing. He comes over with the cup with the cup in his hands. He's like, "Did you want ice in the water?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Like 10 minutes later, it's finally ready. It was the ice. They actually went to the top of the highest mountain to chip away the ice. They went to the Arctics to get this special ice just for us. Starbucks, high quality, right? That must have been what it is. Anyway, now I'm drinking the rest of it because we waited a long time for this water. So it's got to be good water. Logic. The sunk cost fallacy, right? I waited a long time for this water. I'm going to drink every drop of it. Because that's how that works. That's how it works for me anyways. My church's Christmas party got rescheduled to tomorrow because we got snowed out in December. That is a big delay for a Christmas party, I gotta say. Oh my goodness. Trailer for live action He-Man. I saw that. I made a brief tweet about it. So, like, just visually, I'm disappointed, honestly. And I wasn't expecting much to begin with, but it's just the fact that all of the movies that come out with all these fantastic elements nowadays, it's so CGI-y. That's not a word. It sounds stupid when I say that, but it overuses CGI so much. And in this particular case, I don't think it looks very good. Well, it's a bad idea to overuse CGI in the first place, but in this particular case, I did not think it looked very good. It just looked like taking a photo and then running it through a million Instagram filters. Like, it doesn't look right. It looks like filtered slop. Yeah. I was a little disappointed. We have to return to the tradition of combining practical effects and CGI together instead of this weird over dependence on CGI, I think. Because it's taking all of the life out of the movies. It really is. And I heard it explained to me like CGI is more expensive to do. But the reason why they choose to do it is because it's less expensive if you make a mistake with CGI. Whereas practical effects, it's very expensive when you make a mistake, especially like stunts and stuff, right? If somebody gets hurt for practical effects, you get a lawsuit. It's like a big liability. And, you know, the more mistakes you make, the more you'll have to pay to get it right. And CGI, it's a little bit easier to just tweak things here and there. So it's not that it's cheaper, it's just that it's faster, I guess, to some extent. And it's cheaper assuming that you make a lot of mistakes doing practical effects. And maybe you do, I don't know. I'm not necessarily a stunt person or anything. I don't know how many mistakes normally happen when you're doing practical effects or when you're doing that kind of work. It just seems like a very bad and lazy direction to develop this overdependence on these studios to just use CGI in everything. Even the animals. And the animals look so fucked up. You can't. It really looks so fucked up. Oh, jeez. I mentioned it before because for some reason something possessed me, and I watched the Cruella live-action remake. I don't know what was wrong with me. Why did I watch that? But then I made a review on it. It's basically the only thing I can do after watching trash, right? The dogs are animated so weirdly and in such an uncanny way, it made me nauseous. Like, it was nauseating to even look at the screen, looking at these fucked up dogs, right? I don't know if other people have this feeling. It's kind of like when you're looking at an optical illusion and you start to feel sick. I'm sorry, my dog is jumping on the door trying to go outside. 1 second, guys. Enjoy the shitty cell block walls. Come on. He likes attention. That's what it is. I don't even think he really needs to go outside. I think he just wants to jump around and say hello to everybody. That's him saying hello to everybody. Yep. He just immediately starts barking. He's not supposed to bark. I should punish him. One more sec. think he's going through his rebellious teen phase. That's what it is. He's got that edgy Wheaton haircut, and now, he's also starting to act edgy as well. Should have seen it coming. Should have seen the signs. But no, I hate it when they try to animate animals in CGI. People too, obviously. The people and the animals look so fucked up in CGI. They do. I mean, it works if it's a video game, right? Because you're expecting everything to look in the same art style. But if it's like a little bit live action and then a little bit like fucked up CGI, it's too much. It doesn't mesh together, and it's like an optical illusion effect. I don't know how else to describe it. Why it makes me so sick. But yeah. I'd rather have an animated film than for anything fantastical. I would love more like dark fantasy 80s style animated films to come out. The issue is animation is very expensive. 2D animation, very expensive. I would want it to be in 2D. I'm a fan of 2D, right? But blame Disney Marvel for the overuse of CGI. They did kind of start that ball rolling when they just started using it for everything all the time. I get it. Yeah, the dinosaurs in the first Jurassic Park looked way better than the CGI. Yeah, absolutely. They looked fucking scary and real, and they were real. I mean, they were actually real. They were just like not alive, and the animatronics fooled you into thinking that they were alive. But it's like a real thing that they made that looks like a dinosaur, and the fact that they were able to get it to move. First of all, we don't know exactly how dinosaurs moved, so it's all up to interpretation. But it felt very real. It felt real and alive. And that's really fucking cool, man. Practical effects, maybe people just don't really appreciate how much work gets put into that to make it look real and alive. But some of the stuff that they've done throughout the years, back when they were innovating and not just doing like the safe thing to do, that's the peak. That's the peak of movies, man. Especially these makeup artists, how they would like get away with doing like monsters, and it's a shame. Not that we'll never have good movies again, but there's certainly a lot to appreciate about the history of how movies have been made in the past, and how they managed to get all these neat effects to happen, the use of CGI, and how like that holds up better than CGI. It's incredible. It wasn't Cats and Dogs good? I don't know, man. I keep checking the theaters because I like going to the movies, but there's rarely anything I want to watch outside of anime movies. True. The struggle is real. It is so real. The last movie I saw in theaters with friends was the Spy X Family movie, which wasn't that great, honestly. It's like very mid. Very, very mid. But it was also like their first introduction to Spy X Family, so it's like, maybe we didn't show you the best of it quite yet. But I'd rather watch that kind of stuff, I guess, as opposed to these billion-dollar Hollywood movies that are just slop. They have nothing of value for you. It's just like a repetitive story that they're just telling you for the billionth time. It's the same old. It's so formulaic. And they focus on, it seems like every movie coming out nowadays focuses on IP from the past rather than developing a new property. It's so rare to see any movie trying to develop a new franchise. They're just like trying to profit off of what worked in the past. They're not taking chances. I mean, I'm not saying that that's entirely a new thing, but I do think there was a period in time where way more chances were being taken. Like, so many more people were trying to contribute to creating new characters, new franchises. And I don't know, it just seems like it's been less and less and less. Maybe I'm biased. I have not been alive on this planet for very long. I know that people have been like making adaptations and remakes for way longer than I've been alive. But I think it's on the, yeah, it's original stuff feels like it's on the downslide. At least from Hollywood. I know anime, manga, all that stuff is a little bit different, but yeah, this is assuming Western studios can still make great 2D animated films. That's, you know, the frustrating thing about 2D animation in the West is, like, we have this big talent gap because for a long time, not a single art college was even teaching 2D animation anymore because they thought it was all going to be CGI animation from now on. They thought 3D animation was a new thing and it was just going to completely replace 2D animation and that 2D would never be able to compete. So now there's this huge talent gap of people who just never were taught 2D animation. And there's so much demand for 2D animation. That's why Japan is eating our lunch right now when it comes to that type of thing. There's so much demand for it, and the US can't produce it anymore. Now, obviously, things can change in the future. There's a lot more people interested in it. I believe schools are teaching it again, but don't go to art college. Just flat out, don't even go. It's just such a fucking waste of time and money. What I actually endorse are mentorships. If someone who is talented, who you would like to aspire to be like, a mentorship, one-on-one are always the best ones, right? But just learn from that person how to do the thing, since they've already accomplished like what you kind of want to be able to do. I know that not every artist is necessarily good at teaching, but I would encourage more artists out there to try. I mean, for them personally, it would be like this beneficial thing because you would be making passive income just doing the classes. But also, I think it's beneficial for aspiring artists to actually get real education from people who know what they're talking about. That's the problem with these art colleges, is that they get people to teach that don't know what they're talking about. And then people don't learn anything. And it's really frustrating to spend a lot of money learning from someone who doesn't know what they're doing. So, yeah, I fully endorse mentorships. I know that not every teacher is inadequate. Some of them actually do know what they're doing. I'm speaking in general terms, guys. I don't mean literally every teacher, but a lot of them. A lot of them. I mean, if you think about how many colleges exist in America, you really think that every single one of those art teachers is like a professional who worked in the industry? No, most of them aren't. Most of them aren't. Or if they did, they were hacks. It's so rare for me to see someone who knows how to even draw teaching art. And it's like, they just give out homework, essentially. They give out homework and then they give you an A. They don't give you any feedback. No feedback. Can you imagine that? In a fucking art college, you don't get any feedback? You don't know what you're doing right or wrong? Sorry. Maybe we're going on a tangent here. My main point is just that I endorse mentorships, and I don't think artists should go to art college. I think it's a waste. That's my position. I know some people are like, oh, blah, 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 blah. I'm the exception. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. Do what works for you, but this is my experience, my position on the matter based on my experience. That's how it is. But yeah, sorry. There needs to be a PhD program in manga. Hell yeah. There are a lot of people who are really interested in doing manga right now because of how much it exploded, for sure. And I've seen like YouTube sometimes will promote these like kind of, I don't want to outright say scams, but kinda, yeah. These scam art school mentorship things where they're like, oh, we'll teach you how to draw manga. And then you like see their list of teachers and none of them have ever drawn manga in Japan. Like they're all just indie creators and some of them can't even really draw that well. Really shouldn't be teaching anyone, not professional at all. One of them is a webtoon artist who started doing porn on Patreon and has like 2 backers on their page. Like, come on, man. Come on. It's like, yeah, this is the professional I need to learn from. I don't know about this one, Chief. I don't know if this is really worth $5,000. But yeah, be wary of those, right? Find what I would maybe recommend to people who are like curious about like finding mentors is like look for an artist that you like, and maybe you can just directly message them and ask them, hey, do you offer a mentorship? And if so, like, well, what would you charge for something like that? Or can I show you my portfolio? That's a big thing at these art conventions that I go to, the comic convention. So some people will go up to professionals and bring them their portfolio to be judged. And not everybody wants to do that or be that guy, but that is a real cultural thing that is done. And even in Japan has something really interesting where you can make appointments with editors, I believe, editors at a publishing for manga or a magazine. But I think they call it mochikoma. I'm fucking it up. I can't remember what it's called. But you can actually make an appointment with an editor who will look through like a manga that you did and give you feedback. And the idea is if it's not good enough, then at least you'll get feedback for why it's not good enough or where you need to improve. And if it is good enough, maybe they'll offer you a deal. Maybe you'll get a publishing deal with them. And I think that's cool just for the feedback alone. I think getting feedback is really, really difficult. For writing, for art, for everything. A lot of people just don't want to bother, Sometimes it's sometimes people are really scared of hurting your feelings. And then some people, I don't know. Some people just are busy, exhausted. It takes a lot. Especially if you're like really new at art, there's just too many mistakes to go over all at once. And it's like, oh man, this. But yeah, it's what it is. That and colleges have long frowned on comics as low art. Well, maybe. It depends on the college because, there are like specifically art colleges that focus on that stuff. And there's even colleges that are known specifically for teaching people how to do comics. Like everybody mentions the Kubert School. I've never been, of course, but I knew people who've gone there. And it's the same thing with, you know the term cow arts, but the actual university, people know that for like being the animation place to go to. But yeah, you know. I don't know how long my voice is going to hold out for, because we, you know, like I said, we were having brunch and coffee with friends and we had conversations there. But then also, when me and Adam came home, we had our own extended conversation afterwards. And then immediately, I'm like, oh, I got to hop on Friday stream, right? And now I'm like having another extended conversation. Ugh. My voice is delicate. It is. It's very delicate. I have a very quiet voice. It takes a lot to project like this. I don't normally talk loud. A lot of people will just hear me in my videos and they're like, oh my god, she's so like loud and extroverted. And it's like, no, I'm doing it for the video. I'm doing it for the stream so that you can hear me and so that my emotions get across. I'm a very quiet person generally. I like to listen. I do. I like to listen to people. I like to learn things. And I like occasional moments of silence so I can rest my voice. But you know, I do that quite a bit at Artist Alleys. I've always gotten pretty good feedback on my drawings and of my characters. Yeah, that's great. It is really good when people are willing to give you some honest feedback. It's more precious than gold because it's the only way that you're going to be able to actually improve at what you're doing. There's a lot of things that we have a bias towards because we're the people who made it. So there's blind spots whenever we make anything. There's issues that we're just unable to see. And, you know, sometimes even somebody who's not an artist can see like things wrong with this or that. But it's much more valuable to get the feedback from an actual professional artist because they can pinpoint exactly what's wrong and exactly what you need to do to fix it, because they've probably also made similar mistakes. And, you know, they actually know what they're doing. They know how to do the thing that you're trying to do. And I also think that the artist eye in general can catch more things than the average person can catch. Like there's so many it's weird to think about, but there's like so many people who tell me, oh, I like your art style, and they'll be referring to like super old art of mine that I do not think looks good at all. But I think it might just be partially because they don't see the mistakes the same way that I'm able to like look and see them. Or at least that's what I would think, but there's also like professional artists who tell me that. And I think that they're just trying to butter me up. I don't believe you, for the record. I don't believe you do like my art style, because I don't even like my art style. But thank you for the compliment. Yeah. Dannphan will return in Avengers Doomsday. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. So I'm very close to being done. Well, I'm always very close to being done, right? When it comes to Reaper Book 2. I can see, you know, like in your Windows files where it has all the files, I can see the end of the book now with the file that I just did recently and the end of the files. So we are very close. My plan is still to finish in late February and then have it to the printers by March. I'm going to be rushing a little bit, but I still want to make time to do some edits to make the art a little bit more consistent. Because that's the main issue that I have with it, mostly, is just that the art is kind of inconsistent. It's kind of all over the place. And you can see why, because I was a little bit directionless with like, what do I want to draw like? Like what style is the natural progression from the style that I was previously drawing with? And even that style was like a little bit directionless. So there's some inconsistencies. Like basically, the art style at the beginning of the book is different from the art style in the middle of the book, which is different from the art style at the end of the book. And it just requires a little tweaking here and there. And there are some panels that I just kind of want to redraw because I didn't do a very good job with them. And every time I say I want to redraw book 1, people are like, no, just keep going. Don't look back. Just go onward to book 3. And they have good intentions in giving me this advice, but I don't know. I feel like rethinking your strategy with how you would like to present your books is not entirely a bad thing. And I prefer the art to a comic series to remain pretty consistent throughout it. I know that some things like improve or simplify or change slowly over time, but in general, I would like to not have a completely different art style from book 1 to book 2. I'll try to keep it reasonable as much as I can so that I don't pile on too much work than I can handle. But yeah, I want to take the time to actually nail it down, like nail down a real style and a real system and really nail down those fundamentals so that to a reader, it feels like I really do know what I'm doing. Because right now, I'm just faking it. And it's worked out so far, but I can do better. I know I can do better, And I think it's good to always be striving for better. I don't want to settle for not that great. It can be better. But yeah, my favorite representation of how artists change their style over the years is from questionable content webcomic #1 to current. It's striking. Yeah, there's like a lot of examples of artists slowly changing their style over the years, and there's some of the changes are like really subtle. Like One Piece, I think, is overall pretty subtle how the art style has changed over the years. But it is apparent that yes, he did choose to draw things differently later on down the line. But it's still recognizable as the characters, and so as you're reading it, you don't really notice as it slowly changes because the characters are just so iconic that their design is very striking and apparent, and it's not super changed all of a sudden. It's getting even darker. It's getting even darker out there. Soon there will be no natural light whatsoever in this room. It'll just be that yellow light right there. Sorry guys, I don't normally like to record in this corner, but it's what you gotta do. You roll with whatever the day throws at you. The lighting, to be fair, the lighting upstairs is not that good either. The lighting down here is like dungeon worthy, right? But if we're being honest, the lighting up in the Dannphan attic, the Dannphan corner, the usual Dannphan spot, the lighting's not fantastic either. I usually have to adjust the brightness for the videos so that it looks better than it actually does. But on live stream, you can tell, like, oh yeah, this is fucking dog shit. And people think it's my camera. It's not my camera. It's not my camera. My camera is 1080p. Although when I stream on StreamYard, I think it is 420. I think they like paywall you. They're like, you can't stream in 1080p. You got to give us money first. Maybe I shouldn't be using StreamYard. I don't know, man. It's easy. No, let me make my life easier. So what if I have this icon in the left, well, for you it's the right corner, right? But it doesn't matter. But yeah, whatever. Oh, thanks for the super sticker, Matthew. Has anyone ever told you how cute you look? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I do think this lighting makes me look a little haggard. Like some how would I even describe it? It's like when you play a video game character who's a girl, but they add all these like crazy pores to their skin so that it looks all fucked up. That's what I feel like this lighting does to me. It makes me look like I have a bunch of fucked up pores all over the place. But at least it's in 420, so it all gets blurred. The terrible lighting gets blurred, and that's what makes it work. It balances it out. I feel like StreamYard adds a Vaseline filter to the video. That's what it is. Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's a Vaseline filter. Did it. Balances out the shitty lighting. But just for the record, it's not my camera. It's not my camera, it's StreamYard. They won't let me stream in 1080p. That's why. So now you know. Work with what you got. Yeah. Yeah. I prefer the easy way, at least for the streams, because if it's something I care about, I prefer to like really work hard on it, right? But these streams, this is just for like chatting and chilling. I don't need to like, I don't know. I don't need to go overboard with these streams. I think just doing them like this is fine. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just being lazy, but I'm also not a very passionate streamer, you know? I like doing these chats. I like communicating and talking about weekly news and what's going on and updates and everything, but if I didn't do them, it's not so much like I would lose a part of my soul, you know? Thanks for the 10, Oscar Rizum. Here's to you, Dannphan. Keep going. Thank you, man. I will keep going. Well, definitely. But yeah, I'm gonna finish on my new deadline. I'm quite certain now. And once I do have this campaign off my shoulders, I'll start editing new videos for you guys. And YouTube won't like me, right? Because I spent so long not uploading any videos. But YouTube can go fuck itself. Instantly demonetized, channel taken down, right? But you know what I mean. YouTube does punish you for not uploading consistently. So yeah, doing the 3-month break is going to hurt me in views. Hey, to be fair, I did keep up the live streams. That's something, right? But yeah, it's one of those things. At least it won't be like super barren on the Dannphan channel once I start doing the videos again. But I am a little exhausted after doing. I knew that I was pushing it when I did this 200-page graphic novel, the book 2 in a graphic novel series. It's crazy. I must have been out of my mind when I decided to do this project. But I'm almost done, and I can say that I succeeded in doing it. And then it'll be like, you know, when a woman has a baby and then like she's like, oh, I'm never doing that again, you know, that was so painful. But then later she's like, I want another baby, you know. She forgets the trauma that she was put through. I feel like that for comic campaigns, you know, like when I'm doing one, it's like, oh my God, I can feel this body dying all around me, right? But then once the campaign is done and, you know, it's like, whoa, we did it. I can do another campaign. Let's go. Get back on the horse again. Yeah, you get your second wind, I guess. But next time, honestly, I think I just want to be done. I think I want to be done the comics first and then launch, or close to done. Reaper 2, that comic was special in a sense that I was fucking nowhere close to done. But I launched it anyway because I had this vision, not to sound like some psychic or something, but I had this idea in my head, like I could make this series work if I put out a book every year. That's why I launched last year, because I was nowhere near to done, but it was around like roughly the same time as I launched book 1. And I was like, okay, let's drive through. And it's difficult, especially when you're doing it on your own. And granted, it was a longer book. It was a longer book than the first book. And there's a lot of other stuff that was happening during that whole year. So you can't account for everything. Especially when you're also trying to get better at art and you're trying to do these art lessons. And I think maybe getting better at art should have taken priority over just driving through next book, next chapter, let's go, you know, full throttle ahead. Some people say it's the opposite. They say, oh no, you'll learn along the way, just keep on coming out with product. I don't know, to be honest. It doesn't feel right, you know? It feels like I should just take the time to learn it, because it feels like it would be easier for me to draw the actual comic if I had a better grasp on how to do art. And then additionally, I feel like I would also be faster because I wouldn't have to take all this immense amount of time trying to fix something. That's the thing that I think a lot of people don't take into account when a lot of amateur artists drive through full throttle and make a comic is because they're not very skilled. They're going to spend a lot of time fixing and tweaking the art. More time than a professional artist would. I know that also professional artists do the same thing when it comes to fixing and tweaking the art, but the amateur artist is going to spend more time, I would argue. Anyways. But yeah, so I don't have all the answers, but I think next time I'm going to just have a comic done before, or close to done, like maybe 5 pages until it's done, until I do another campaign. I think it's better for you, the people backing it, because you don't have to wait very long to get your books. I think it's better for me personally, because I don't have to carry this burden, this stress with me for so long. Every single day that goes by that I'm not done the comic, it's And I know it's not you. It's nobody is pressuring me to get done this comic like faster. Nobody's pressuring me. It's just me. It's my own standard. I want to be done. I want to be done in a timely manner. And so I feel like it's just better mentally for us both, the consumer and also the artist. I think that's I think that's the way to go about it, honestly. Um, maybe it's different for shorter projects. Obviously, like maybe if you're just doing a 30-page comic, you can get done a 30-page comic fairly quickly. But 200-page graphic novel, no, this is a bad idea. I should 100% wait until that shit is already done. Then I'll do the campaign. Because I don't like being on the hook for something for so long. It's so stressful. It is. It's stressful. Even with nobody being mad at me, it's just me being mad at myself. That's the thing. Ugh. At least you're honest about why your book is taking so long. Yeah, I know that a lot of other people, especially in the indie comic sphere, don't really do well when it comes to updating people about their status, and don't really talk to customers well in general. There's a couple reasons for that, I'm sure. Some people just aren't people, you know? I get it. It's tough. It is. And I think in general, so long as you're updating everybody and so long as you're like posting proof that you're working on it, people are usually very understanding. Even for a lot of web comics, like, there's a huge demand to get a web comic out every week or every month. And that's a lot of pressure, especially when it's just one person doing it on their own. That's a lot of pressure. But from my own experience, I've seen a lot of people, they're very understanding and supportive. Maybe it depends on what kind of audience you attract. I don't know, but it just seems like people are starting to get it, that art takes time. And some people, some groups of people out there will just be very patient and understanding. And I love those groups of people. I also think part of it is when you've established a good reputation for being someone who is trustworthy, who is going to try to get the product out, that makes people more understandable and more willing to wait, for sure. So it's a combination of a bunch of things. But I do understand there are some people in the indie sphere who are not good at talking to people, not good at updating, and don't have a very good reputation on getting their books out on time. And so their reputation just keeps on going down the drain, book after book, And at least you have drive, something I lack a lot of the time. Man, honestly, motivation is difficult. It really is. I have like a general goal of just ink a page every day. And then if I'm really on a roll, I'll keep going, right? I'll try to do more than just one page. But sometimes I don't meet the goal. And sometimes it'll be a really long time where I'll just not be motivated, not be on a roll. It's just like I'm going through the motions, drawing the page, right? And that doesn't feel good, just going through the motions, just mindlessly doing the thing you're supposed to do, but the motivation, like the passion, just really isn't there, because I think part of it really is the deadline. It's the stress of you got to get it done, and you're a piece of shit for not getting it done already. I think that does add a lot of of issues, but there are also problems with not working uh, at any deadline, not working with any deadline at all. Because some people will just never get something done if they don't have a deadline, even if it's a self-imposed deadline. And essentially, the comic campaigns basically are self-imposed deadlines. There's no like contract that I'm signing with Kickstarter that declares I must get this done in a year or anything like that. It's just that I cannot live with myself if I don't get this done within a year. It is a very personal restriction that I'm putting on me. But yeah. Is Burning Star going to have any new releases this year from when you were receiving submissions? Commissions. Well, I don't want to reveal anything specific just yet, but there is a collaborative project that I've been sort of working up on the side for this year. Yeah, I don't want to list any specific names because this is going to be like a much bigger like collaborative thing. And I don't know how many people are actually going to stick around to the end. I expect some people to like just drop out, be like, oh, sorry, I thought I had time for it, but I didn't, because that happens all the time, especially in art, in the creative field. People will say yes to things that they really don't have time for, and then they'll realize way later they don't have time for it. It happens. I get it. But yeah, no specific like official books getting released to Burning Star, but there is going to be a rather big collaborative project that I'm hoping to do this summer if everything doesn't implode on itself. So far, I think everything's going well. So far, I think it's a-okay. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Sorry. Got the hiccups. I'm always getting hiccups. Adam noticed this about me. He's like, why do you always get hiccups? It's so random. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a hiccupy person. Let's see. I dislike posting on social media in general. It feels like I have to post art or updates on my work. It sucks the joy out of it for me. I don't know. I think it's a love-hate relationship. Sometimes I just don't have any panels that I really feel proud of. And, that's kind of a me problem. I just don't have any panels where I'm like, yeah, this is good. So I don't have anything that I feel like I can post. Or sometimes it's a spoiler. Ugh. The amount of fucking spoilers that I have in my books. And like sometimes I'm questioning, like, is this a spoiler? Maybe it's not a spoiler. Maybe I can post this. But then people will be mad. But yeah, when I post something that I am proud of and I get like positive feedback, it feels good. It feels motivating for me because like, oh, thank God somebody cares. This isn't all for nothing. Somebody cares about me and what I'm doing. Oh, thank goodness. But yeah, sometimes it's you post something that you're proud of and you get no response at all. And it's like, oh God, nobody cares. And my art sucks. My art sucks and nobody cares about it. I'm a failure. So it's that double-edged sword. But I don't think it completely sucks the joy out of it. It's just good in moderation. And something that I'd like to get better at is just scheduling out posts so I don't have to worry about it all the time. Like, oh, did I post about my comic today? Oh, if I posted about Burning Star Comics at burningstarcomics.net. Because, it'll take up some headspace if you don't just have it passively going on in the background. That's one of the reasons why I guess I like X of all social media things. It's just the ease of just scheduling out posts. Like I post this thing, and that'll be promotional post for the day. But even that, even just scheduling out posts, that's like time that you just need to sit down and tap 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 at the computer for a while instead of drawing. But sorry, I'm just trying to catch up to chat now. I remember a clip where someone told a VTuber to remind themselves they aren't a fish to get rid of hiccups, and it works. Yeah, that does sound like a placebo. I think most hiccups will just end if you give it a couple minutes. It's very rare for hiccups to go on for a particularly long time. Yeah, but yeah. Oh, there's something funny I could mention if anyone cares. Manga Plus creators. Remember that? Yeah, it's not doing that great, it seems. For whatever reason, like January is still going, but they've kind of just stopped counting new works for their monthly competition. I don't know if they're planning on ending the monthly awards entirely, but it kind of seems like they've stopped accepting any new works to be listed on the monthly awards page. I know this mostly because Hiraeth, Olive, and Doma, they were trying to get out a chapter each month and hopefully get ranked each month for each chapter to get noticed, right, for that prize money, hopefully. But they're not being ranked for this month because I guess they released late in the month, and maybe they're just not listing any new comics anymore. And none of these comics listed right now are saying that they're still counting or anything. All of them are count completed. All of them are just stagnant in their place. But the month isn't over, so there's no real reason for that. I don't know. Could be a glitch. I've seen plenty of glitches. Mostly on the app, I've seen plenty of glitches, but it's just weird. Just weird. I do wonder, how long are they going to keep up these monthly awards for the Manga Plus creators? Because it doesn't feel to me like something that'll go on forever. It feels like something that they plan to eventually end. Especially because, like, it doesn't work, really, when it comes to finding talent. Especially, they don't do anything about people botting views. The views are already kind of inflated, which shows that they don't have a huge fan base on the app, which is unfortunate because it's a good app. There's nothing wrong with the app. It's good for reading manga, right? But they inflate the views for the creators section. And then additionally, people can bot views to get ranked, and they can submit AI slop and then just bot all the views, and it doesn't really reflect quality, when you have these issues, and it makes this competition just feel like this big fake scam. Like, it's not legitimate at all. So it looks bad for them, and I don't know how much longer they plan to keep up this whole system, but I would not be surprised if, come next month or this year, they just stop doing it. People have been complaining about the competition in of itself because it seems very illegitimate how they do things. And you know, even for just the prize money thing, like how much money are they really going to just throw out to creators that they don't even have any plans to actually go forward with a publishing deal for? I don't know. It just doesn't seem like something that's going to go on forever. Especially monthly. You're not going to give out prize money monthly. You're not fooling anyone, right? Are you aiming to open submissions for Burning Star again in November? For this year? Yeah, something like that. My vague thing is like, oh, vaguely at the end of the year, I open submissions. I'll probably do something like that again this year. Yeah. Part of me thinks maybe I should just like turn to just talking directly to some people that I'm actually interested in publishing with or helping with their projects. Because you'd be surprised. There's a lot of indie comics people out there who really don't like the process of promotional stuff or fulfilling stuff or making merch or dealing with the printers. And I get it. It's a real pain in the ass, right? It's a real pain in the ass. I don't really like it either. But a lot of other people out there just like want the help and don't realize it until somebody comes to them and offers like, hey, I can do this stuff for you if you give me permission to like list your comic on the website, you know? So I don't know. Maybe it's better to just talk with artists directly. It feels like a lot of people who are submitting comics to Burning Star Comics are just Google searching comic submission, and they just submit their whatever comic they made, they're just submitting it to every single publisher. I'm not special, you know? I get it. I've also been in a similar position, but it's people who don't really understand what the publisher is about or what kind of person I am or even the YouTube channel that they're going to be promoted on. So yeah, you know, I'll keep it open. I'll see where that goes in the future. But I am also just thinking, yeah, maybe it is better to just, for me personally, just contact people that I want to lift up or that I'm interested in the comics for, and just try to work out deals with them directly. There's a lot of indie publishers that just straight up don't have submissions open anymore. And they just scroll through Twitter or wherever they're finding these artists and they just contact them directly. So I don't know. I don't know where the future lies. I'm figuring things out, guys. The year just started. It's January. Well, I'll change my tune later, maybe. But thank you guys for tuning in to another fantastic Friday. Did I mistitle this? I swear I changed that title. It changed it back. I changed that title and I changed it back. I just realized this now. Why did nobody say anything? Nobody said anything this whole stream. I even talked about how like I streamed once and the mic was muted and nobody said anything. Nobody said anything about the title. God damn it. What's wrong with you people? Why didn't you say anything? Okay, whatever. That's a Friday stream. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next week, maybe. Maybe we'll do another drawing stream soon. Good night, everybody.